Okay, so going to do an update here. Next episode, we're going to have Nick and Steven talk about the latest trends in home improvement, where to do all the remodels, and where those costs might be, a waste out the door. So this is very important for all of you who are thinking of either, doing some improvement just to, get a higher value. Should you decide to sell? Should you decide to get an appraiser out there to remove your PMI, your private mortgage insurance, should the home valuation go up and that's your end goal? Or you might just have an appraiser come out to provide you a HELOC loan through your lender. So there's multiple avenues you can take this, and that's why that specific episode is very important. I also have another episode coming out with a surfer and entrepreneur who's a friend of mine. I think that one would be really unique too because we have some beer there, so it's a good time. By the way, Shane brought these beers. What are these? Hazy IPAs?
It's the Stone Amazingly Hazy IPA.
Nice.
Tastes like a lotus in your mouth.
And what's really cool is that I was telling Shane that this is the first time I've ever drank alcohol on a podcast. So cheers to being the first. But in any case, I want to kind of update you on the housing market. I know Nick and I tend to do these financial, economic, and housing updates. And we haven't done one in a while since December 2022. I believe. So I want to do one quickly here with you. 3 balls, 2 strikes, pressure is on. This is where we discuss real estate, property improvement, and business. Together, we'll strategize on how to win. Welcome to the Full Count. With that being said, as you have seen, mortgage rates have gone up if you're paying attention and taking a look on the newspapers and the media and things like that, social media. The reason why that occurred was in early February, we got the jobs report for January, and it was a lot stronger than everyone expected. It blew it out of the water, right? And you would think that would be good, but when it comes to the economy being in the growth mode, it's very bad for mortgage rates because when mortgage rates are essentially at a certain level, if the economy is doing well, the mortgage rates will go up with it. If we start seeing the economy not do well, the mortgage rates come down. So by seeing that strong jobs report, we basically saw that the Federal Reserve did not have their hand on the inflation at the right moment. So they was just getting out of hand and going past their strategy and things like that. But now that in March, we just got the February jobs report just a day ago, and essentially what we saw is the jobs report was strong, but was not as strong as we had expected, which was great. It gave some breathing room for mortgage rates to improve because it shows that the growth rate of the economy is not as strong as we all had expected. So we're kind of in a situation where people don't know what's going to happen next. With that said, the Federal Reserve is supposed to raise the Fed funds rate, but back in February, everyone thought it was going to go 50 basis points. Now, because of February jobs report, we're thinking it's probably going to be only 25 basis points, and that really helped mortgage rates improve just for the last day or so, right? So we don't know what to expect next week and so on and so forth until we see where the Fed funds rate raises the Fed funds rate, to what degree anyways. So if you see a 25 basis point rate hike, that's going to be great for mortgage rates. If you see a 50 basis point rate hike and other comments by the Fed that tends to be hawkish, that will be bad for rates. The more dovish he is, the better. The more hawkish, the worse. Hawkish means that he wants to, being Jerome Powell wants to raise Fed funds rate. Dovish meaning he wants to lower rates, the Fed funds rate, okay? So dovish is what's great for mortgage rates. Hawkish is not good for mortgage rates in this environment. With that said, we also saw the Silicon Valley Bank implode. We saw the government, get a hold of that, and that was definitely not good news for the financial industry or the economy. Therefore, you would think that'd be great. I mean, bad for mortgage rates, but it was actually a great thing because we're starting to see a weakness going on, and the Federal Reserve has to take that into mind when they go to their meeting sometime later this month to do the Fed funds rate hike. And that also helped mortgage rates stay lower. So we'll see. We're in a situation where we don't know what's going to happen, like in most cases, right? But most of the time we kind of can see a trend right now. It can go kind of anywhere. So in any case, a lot of experts think that the mortgage rates are going to soften in May and go further downward in a trend line, but we'll see. So I have a friend of mine who's been so bearish on the housing market and the economy overall in the last 2 years. I'm starting to see some things that are shaking the economy, and he might be right, but I'd like to see what he has to say. So I'm going to have him on to explain his perspective on things and why he sees so much red in the market to occur and continue to be worse. So very bearish guy right now for the market. I'd love to see his perspective. When Silicon Valley Bank imploded, he was going on Instagram and all that, and he was very excited. So I'd love to see his point of view. So he's got an interesting point of view. So I definitely would like to have him on. And if you're looking at the scar right here, that happened the other day when I was doing some home improvement at my house. My brother-in-law, he was fixing my rental that I'm going to put on the market. So I had to get that done. I was running up the stairs and somehow I hit the wall and I opened myself up, but it is what it is. You got to get the house to be in a good condition before you put it on the market. So I'd love to take you on that journey with me on how I go ahead and do property management moving forward. And the goal is to not just have a small property, but continue to grow it in the square footage and have a bigger and bigger building. Let me know if you have questions.